let's talk about something we've all done. You're wandering through a supermarket, filling up your cart, and then you change your mind. But have you ever stopped to think about the legal side of things? Like, what's really happening with every single item you pick up and put down? Today, we're going to dive into a super common shopping trip that has some surprisingly deep legal roots.
Seriously, think about it. You grab that pint of chocolate ice cream, but then, a few aisles later, you spot a brand new salted caramel flavor. What do you do with the first one? Do you get that little pang of guilt as you kind of leave it by the bread? Well, we're about to find out if that little moment of indecision actually matters in the eyes of the law.
So to figure this out, let's follow our main character for today. We'll call him Alan. Here's what he does. He goes to the deli, orders some stuff, puts it in his cart. Then he wanders over to the pet food aisle, has a change of heart, and just leaves the deli items there. So the big question is, legally speaking, did he actually do anything wrong?
Now, Alan's story isn't some bizarre one-off thing. It's a perfect example of a dilemma that plays out in stores every single day. And it happens in this kind of legal gray area that, don't worry, we're about to make crystal clear. So yeah, putting deli meat next to dog food might be a little inconsiderate, but is it illegal? When he ordered at the counter, did he accidentally lock himself into some kind of binding agreement that he then broke? That's the mystery we are solving today.
Let's put on our lawyer hats for a second. The real question is, do Alan's actions, ordering, walking around, and then ditching the goods, have any legal significance? To answer that, we have to get our heads around one of the most basic, fundamental ideas in all of contract law.
And that key idea, the concept that unlocks this whole puzzle, is the offer. Seriously, everything comes down to figuring out when and who makes the formal contractual offer. Once you get this, Alan's whole shopping trip makes perfect sense.
Okay, so what even is an offer in the legal sense? Well, it's way more than just a suggestion. It's a clear statement that says, all right, I'm ready to be locked into this deal right here, right now. It's that final take it or leave it moment just before a real contract is born.
Now, here is where things get really interesting and maybe a bit backwards from what you'd expect. You might think the store is making you an offer by putting a can of beans on the shelf with a price tag, but legally, that's not an offer at all. It's just what they call an invitation to treat. And the law sees it this way to give you, the customer, the freedom to browse and change our mind. The store is simply inviting you to make them an offer when you finally get to the checkout.
All right, so now that we know what an offer is, and maybe more importantly, what it isn't, let's go back to Alan's journey through the store and apply this idea to every step he took.
Let's break this down, action by action. When Alan asked for those goods at the deli, was that his offer? Nope. He was still just browsing, still collecting potential items. The real, crucial moment, the legal offer, happens at the checkout. When he puts those items on the conveyor belt, that is him making a definite offer to buy.
So we followed the legal logic, and we finally reached the verdict. So what does this all mean for Alan? And, more importantly, what does it mean for you and me the next time we're doing our weekly shop?
The answer is actually super simple and decisive. What Alan did has absolutely no legal significance. Zero. Because no actual offer was made until he would have gotten to the checkout, he was perfectly 100% within his rights to change his mind.
And the reasoning behind it is crystal clear. As the legal analysis says, it's only on reaching the checkout did he state his definite intention to buy. The checkout is basically the starting line for the contract, not the finish line. Until you get to that point, you have total freedom to change your mind about anything in your cart.
So let's boil it all down. Here are the key things to remember. First, stuff on a shelf with a price tag is not a legal offer. It's just an invitation. Second, you, the shopper, are the one who makes the official offer when you get to the checkout. And finally, the contract isn't sealed until the cashier accepts your offer, usually by scanning your items. Until that final beep, you have complete shopper's freedom. Which leaves us with this one last, pretty fascinating thought that completely flips the script on something we do all the time. For years, you probably thought the store was offering to sell things to you, but now you know the truth. When you step up to that checkout line, the power is actually with you. You are the one making the final offer. And, well, that kind of changes everything, doesn't it?